Hello. What better place to shoot a video than in a truck and on the farm? Well, I've gone through everything in my mind. We'll talk more about that later. And I think that this election could boil down to one question. A one-question election. This should be everything that everyone needs to know about who the next president of the United States is. So here's the question. Joe Biden, you knew, either because the Democratic Party told you or because the FBI told you that the Russians told them, that Hillary Clinton bought and paid for a hit piece on Donald Trump that was fiction. And you did nothing. You did nothing to expose foreign election interference benefiting Hillary Clinton. You knew when in January, after the election, January of 2017, that there was no Russian collusion, that the evidence was based on a thing that totally didn't matter. It was just a store-bought hit piece. You knew all these things. You also knew the situation in the Ukraine. You knew the Ukraine was mobbed up, and you also knew by probably watching the news that President Trump didn't want to give millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to a country that was just going to go to the mob and end up doing nothing to secure the country. It was going to do nothing to help the country defend themselves. And yet, that situation inspired an impeachment of a sitting president of the United States. So you knew that the Mueller investigation was a fraud. It was a hoax. You knew that that there was justification for asking the Ukrainian leaders to clean up their country. And when the Ukrainian leaders said, hey, it might involve the vice president's son, the president said, don't get in the middle of American politics, but if you got to do what you got to do, I want that country cleaned up. You knew, Joe. Why didn't you say anything? How could you know and let it go? How could we trust somebody to be president who would personally know about a bureaucratic coup? And I'm getting my information from what I read before and what I pieced together and I thought I knew, but the president confirmed at the debate last night. A bureaucratic coup against a sitting president of the United States, using for sure the FBI and the Justice Department, using what used to be called the Patriot Act, FISA warrants that are designed to protect us from terrorism, abusing that system. You knew, Joe, all these things. So the question becomes, Joe, how could you know and let it go? Pretty simple. The answer to that will tell us if you are qualified to be president of the United States. And if you won't answer it, Joe, or if you don't answer it truthfully, if the news media won't look at the trickle of information we've been getting since July and put it all together and tell us themselves, then what I would ask the president to do is to offer immunity to the players in the FBI and the CIA if they were involved, and any other place they exist. Offer immunity, maybe not from a conviction, but an immunity from jail. How's that? You're going to get convicted of your crimes, but you're only going to get probation. These are the things that this one thing is what the election should be based on. Because if you'll know all that, if you know and let it go, what are all the things going on with cities burning and ballots in ditches? What do you know and are letting go? What will you find out? What will you get to know and let it go? That's the one question election. How could you know and let it go? Thank you.